Larry Sharpe has traveled the country and has personally visited every county in New York State, listening to people's concerns. The Sharpe Way is a show where answers, solutions, and common ground can be found so that together we can forge a new way forward. The Sharpe Way is the way to mutual respect, where no one has to convert to be heard, because you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want, as long as you aren't forcing your beliefs on others. Welcome to Sharpe Way Radio.
Oh, yes. It is Larry Sharpe. Sharpe Way Radio here on the Voice of Liberty. So glad that you're with me this afternoon. If you want to give me a buzz, you can after the first break. 585-346-3000. You know, those of you who've heard me more than once talk about my family know that I have kids too. I want to imagine for a moment if you had a kid, if you do, or if not, hopefully you can consider this, a son, say in this case, and they're older, they're 18, 19 years old, something like that, 18, 19 years old. And they decide after high school, maybe after college, whichever, that they don't like the rules in your house. They think the rules in your house aren't the right rules. And you go, okay, I hear you, because you're an adult and I'm an adult. We have a conversation about it. And we recognize that these are my rules, right? These are the father's rules in this case, mother, if you're a mother in this case. It's the parents' choice, their rules, and they're not going to make money changes. That's it. These are the rules. If you don't like the rules, you may leave. That's okay, or stay with the rules, either one. And the son says, okay, I'm going to leave. I want my own rules. I'm going to go leave. So good for him. Packs his stuff, rents the space, and he's good to go. And he comes back to you. And he says, hey, Dad, look, I need a favor. Rent's a little too high. I'm a little too high. And I need some help. So can you throw me, I don't know, $500 a month to pay for my rent? Now, you care about your son, your child. You do. So you don't outright say no. You say, okay, you know, I'm open to helping you out here. I am. You're my son. But there's going to be some strings attached to this money. There's certain things I'm going to want you to do. There's going to be certain actions I may want you to take that make me feel comfortable to give you this $500 every month. Now, most people would say, that's reasonable. Yeah, if I'm going to give the guy $500 a month, I can have some strings. A little bit here or there, right? Of course. Most people would think that makes sense. Well, that's the problem we're having right now with sanctuary cities. So we have like sanctuary cities. Yeah, that's the problem. For those of you who don't know, there's 4 mayors right now that are supposed to go testify in front of Congress on February 11th. One of them is my amazing Mayor Adams. Clearly, I'm teasing. Also, the mayor of Boston, Denver, and Chi-Town, Chicago. They have to go. You might go, well, Larry, why do they have to go? Well, they don't have to go, but they have to go. Why? Because they get tons of federal funds. Because Dad writes them a bunch of checks. And they've decided that they want to take Dad's money, but they don't want to do what Dad says. They don't want the strings attached to that money. You might go, wait a minute, Larry. You've said more than once, you're not against sanctuary cities. I'm not. But not just for that issue. I'm against for lots of issues. I'd love to have sanctuary cities for the Second Amendment. I mean, that's not a thing. But then I'd have to have sanctuary counties for that. How about sanctuary counties or sanctuary cities for the First Amendment? I like the concept of sanctuary cities. Local people deciding that these horrible laws that break the Constitution, shouldn't be enforced. I love that concept. But I can't do that and still take money from my dad. If I want to have my own house, my own rental apartment or whatever, and I want to have all the parties I want and lay around, do whatever I want, hang out anywhere I want to hang out, great. I better find a way to pay my bills. I can't do that and say, hey, Dad, write me a check. Hey, Ma, come over. Give me some cash. I can't do that. So either I don't give you the cash and you be as sanctuary as you want to be. And I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. Or if I write you a check, you got to do what I tell you to do. And you might go, Larry, that sounds kind of mean. Yeah, it does. And sadly, it is true. It's how it works. It's the world. When you decide to take money from people like that, there's always something that's required in return. Always. You've heard me so many times say, I am tired of New York State taking federal funds. People who like the federal government go, but Larry, there's no laws. Yeah, you're right. There's no law that stops X, Y, or Z, but they control the state. They control the counties through cash. That's how they control the counties from Albany. That's how they control the states from DC through cash. So we lose our localization. We lose our local democracy. We lose our communities. I'm not against sanctuary cities. I'm not. And some of you are mad. How dare you, Larry? How can you? But you can't take big cash, can you? Which means you better have your own plan to fix your own problems. And I'm okay with that too. I was never against the migrants. I was against the migrants with no plan. If you got a plan, you got a way to fix it. You got a way to deal with it. You got a way to take care of them. Okay, take more if you can fix it. But you never could. So why'd you take them? You never had a plan. Your plan was, Uncle Joe will write me a check. And I warned. Boy, did I warn. I warned. I said, if Uncle Don wins, he may not want to write that check. And there it is. You don't want to write that check. You're not doing what he told you to do. You can't get that check anymore. That's how they control everything. This is the perfect example of that. You want to be a sanctuary city? Okay. I live in it. I'm not mad at it. No federal funds, finances for yourself. I'm in. Let's do it. But once the federal government starts writing you big checks, they control you. Once all businesses write you big checks, they control you. That's the issue. Now, the funny part about this one is when Eric Adams goes down, if he does, suppose he has some kind of illness, he's going to a doctor for something. They're being kind of cagey on that. We'll see. But if he heads down there, he's going to be the most popular one of the bunch. Oh, yeah. You might go, wait a minute, Larry, he's from New York City. It's the deep blue New York City. No. Eric Adams is almost a Republican right now. Why? Number one, he needs checks from Uncle Don. This city is not going to survive without it. So he needs those checks. So he's going to go down there, be like, Uncle Don, what I got to do? What I got to do? I got to kiss the ring. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. He might become a Republican even. I'm not even joking. Not just that, he was just talking to Holman before. Was it November, December? I forgot when. Late last year, he went down and talked to Holman. He said, let's have a conversation. And he was like, New York is ready to help out to get the bad guys, not the other people, to get the bad guys. That's what he said. Well, that's kind of changing a little bit. Now, that part, I think, is unfair. I don't think you're going to change the rules. That's whatever you agreed upon, and I don't know what they agreed upon. According to Adams, and that's one side, it was to get the bad guys, leave the workers. That's according to Adams. Is that what Holman said? Is that what Adams took? Did Trump change the rules? I don't know. But that's going to create chaos. That's a problem in New York City. You got to know what the rules are going to be. And if dad says, if I give you the $500, I expect X and Y, you can't then say, oh, by the way, now Z and then AB. No. That's a different deal. So then we're going to change the dollar amount, whatever, different deal. So if it changed, again, I don't know. All I know is what Eric Adams said. So who knows? If that's the plan and it changed, that's wrong. But if it's what they agreed upon, he's going to be the most malleable. You know the one who's not going to be? Mayor of Chi-Town, Brandon Johnson. Brandon Johnson has a terribly run city, worse than New York, worse than New York City, worse. And he will be the most defiant. Why? He's an actual ideologue. He's a true believer. Oh, yes. He will martyr himself. And he will martyr his city. And he will martyr all the Chicagoans. He will martyr the entire city. That man is a true believer. You think I'm joking? Nope. I watched my former mayor, right, de Blasio, true believer. I watched him martyr our city. Brandon Johnson will martyr Chicago, himself included. That's what a true believer he is. Adams will be the opposite. He'll be like, what I got to do, boss? That's the opposite. Now, Michelle Wu out of Boston has the best shot. Why? Compared to other cities, Boston's doing fine. I'm being very serious. Boston's a sanctuary city. They clearly either didn't get as many or had a plan. Fine. People aren't complaining. She's popular. Crime is down. I mean, it's still city, right? So it's relative. But you compare Boston to Denver, to Chicago, to New York, Boston doing just fine. She's got the best shot to say, have a nice day, guys. Stop. My people are happy. I'm good. I had a plan. I'm good. However, Boston does take a lot of federal funds. Yeah, it does. So she's still going to bend the knee, but not as much. Not as much. But she's got the best story to tell. Absolutely, she does the best story to tell. So, is this kind of an I told you so segment? Yeah, it kind of is. Kind of is. The libertarian in me always does come out, and I always say the same thing. If the federal government has less power, then they can't use it against you, whatever side you're on. If you're on sanctuary city side, they can't use it against you. If you're on the other side, they still can't use it against you. I don't want them using it against you. Perfect example of this. Am I crazy? You tell me. 585-346-3000. Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Radio on the Voice of Liberty here in glorious Western New York. I'll be back with your calls and your chat. I see you after the break.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999-TECH.
Dion, you see this most likable spokesperson poll?
Really? I might know somebody. Oh, we're looking forward to this today, aren't we?
Seriously, guys. We're a team. We're not competing against each other.
Ooh, who's a good spokesperson?
2 puppies? I did not expect that from you.
Ooh, one of them's for you. Oh, there you go. Ooh, who's a good spokesperson? Yes, go Team West Her. Oh.
Welcome to West Her, New York.
Hi, my name is Evan Spindleman, founder and owner of Flood Broker. Flood insurance premiums are skyrocketing, and if you have to have flood insurance coverage to secure your mortgage, you owe it to yourself to call me to see how I can save you money on your flood insurance premium. The insurance programs I use are bank accepted and will satisfy your loan requirement. Please give me a call at 585-736-4366 today to get a free no obligation quote. That's 585-736-4366. Call today.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes. It is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio on the Voice of Liberty, 585-346-3000. Boy, oh boy, have we watched some changes coming down this pike. And some people I know are mad. Some people don't like this. They're like, Trump's doing this crazy stuff. I get it. I do. But I have to say this, for those of you who are unhappy with what Trump is doing, here is the good part about it, even if you don't like what he's doing. He's actually doing what he said. And you might go, but Larry, I hate it. Okay, yes, but don't you want, if you're a Democrat and you're listening or watching, and your Democrat wins, don't you want your Democrat to do what the Democrat says? And to be forward, they should. If you vote for them, they should do the thing. We have not seen that. To be forward, on Republican or Democratic side, for years, they talk trash and do nothing. I've been saying it forever. The past 20 years, if you are a Democrat, the Democrats have controlled, at one point, House, Senate, Court, Supreme Court, and the presidency. And if you're a Republican, the Republicans have controlled at one point in the past 20 years, House, Senate, Supreme Court, presidency. They have. If you lean left, where's your Medicare for all? Where is it? Nowhere, right? You've been talking about it. Where was your, where was your taxing the rich? Where was that? So you wanted, right? Where'd you get it? Didn't get any of that. Right? Where's your anti-war? Well, it used to be anti-war. Now Democrats aren't, but it used to be. Where was that happening? We're still fighting wars. How about Republicans? Where's your balanced budget amendment? Right? Where's that? Where was your border control? Where was that? No laws. The laws weren't changed. No. So it doesn't matter which side you're on. He's doing what he said. Let's hope that's a precedent for whether you like what he's doing or not. That no matter what happens, when the people you vote for don't just fall back to whatever works best for themselves only, but actually do what they say, which is what they should do. Even if I don't like it, right? Even if I don't like it, they should still do what they say. The people who we vote for should do what they say. And in this case, he is. He didn't lie. He's like, I'm doing all these things. He's doing it, right? It's one of the reasons why, believe it or not, I did not like de Blasio's policies in New York City at all. I think he trashed the city. But that guy never lied. And I said it while he was there. That guy told the truth. He was like, I'm going to do it. He literally said, I'm all about, redistribution of wealth. And that's what I'm going to do. He said it. He did it. And New York City got what they voted for. There we go. Well, we're all getting it. And I think it's better for us to be that way. It is just so damn rare. So let me grab a couple of comments if I could. Let's see if I can go down here. Mike Voss is in the house. He says, Larry Sharpe, wasn't this the same testimony that Adams was supposed to make back in November when he and his staff suddenly got hit with investigations on a 2 or 3 year old funding questions? No, different. It's different testimony. This is specifically regarding sanctuary cities, and it's him and 3 other mayors. This is specific for that. Those other issues have kind of gone away since he went down to Mar-a-Lago and had a chat with Trump. And look, I'm not a fan of Eric Adams. Clearly, I'm not. I just know what he's going to do. He's just going to do it. So yes, he's just going to do it, right? I get it completely. So yeah, Mike goes on to say, I understand the larger theme, but illegals and sanctuary cities / states are criminal They promote lawlessness. And if laws are arbitrary, there are no laws. I think there are two examples of that not being true. One, as I said, is Boston. Boston is a sanctuary city also. When it comes to crime, again, relatively, Boston's crime is down. Boston is a relatively safe city. So I don't think it does that for Boston. That means either Boston had a better plan or Boston took in less migrants. Both are appropriate. New York City should have done one of those two. Either had a better plan or taken in less migrants. One or the other. And you might go, but Larry, the law says you have to or whatever. Well, then find a plan for that or change the law or ignore it and take it to court. There are options. You don't just, and I bring this up all the time. If there was a law that the brain dead dung throwers in our assembly here in New York State decided if you're convicted of graffiti at the age of 16 or 17, we're going to bring back the death penalty, and it's a mandatory death penalty sentence. That's the law. The brain dead dung throwers make that a law. And our brain dead governor goes, yep, good law, and signs it. And now you're a judge, or you're a cop, or you're DA, whatever. You're someone who now has to enforce this thing. Do you enforce that law? I sure hope not. But it's the law. I don't care. It's a terrible, horrible law. Don't enforce it. Don't. But Larry, it's the law. This kid got convicted of graffiti. We have to kill him. No, I'm not a monster. Now, I'm not saying that necessarily equals sanctuary city. What I'm saying is, do the local people, are they happy and satisfied? Are the local people doing a decent job? In this case, I think it is. In addition, there's an argument that could say the federal government doesn't have any control over a sanctuary city. If the federal government does its job, it closes the border. But if they get to the border, that's no longer a federal issue. They already screwed up. The feds already screwed up. They let them in the border. They shouldn't have done that. I could buy that argument too. I don't think it's as black and white as you say, is what I'm saying. It's not as black and white. And I think it can be gray. And I'm okay with that. I am. I'm okay allowing local people having more authority. If I have to make a decision based upon those two, I would always rather go local than go more control in DC, even though both may be wrong. If I have a choice, is where I would go. So, yes. IC's on your side. IC says, Mike is saying the act of being a sanctuary state is criminal. Yes, and so was the act of becoming America. All of our heroes are outlaws. Gandhi, outlaw. George Washington, outlaw. MLK, outlaw. They're all outlaws. I'm not a guy who loves the empire. Just because brain dead dung throwers said stuff doesn't make it right. They make tons of terrible laws. New York State, had 600 laws last year? So what? So that means now we're all criminals. We're all criminals. That idea of something being criminal doesn't make it wrong. It might be, right? Murder obviously is both wrong and criminal. But, not putting something on your taxes appropriately, maybe a clerical error. It's not wrong. It could be criminal. It's not. So what? You made a mistake. Fix it. I don't know. Felon. So now, right? Officially, those people who support Trump, Mike, you're one of them. He's a criminal. He's a felon. He's a criminal. I think it was bogus, but still. And I would follow on that too. Ross Ulbricht, same thing. Criminal. Nope. I say no. So I understand what you're saying. I just don't think it's as black and white. I just don't think it's as black and white. Phil's teasing me. He says, Larry, I'm shocked. How could you insult brain dead dung throwers? They deserve better than being compared to the New York State Legislature. Well, you're right. For those brain dead dung throwers, if you are listening, I apologize. That's what I would say. I apologize. Yes. So IC goes on to say nothing the Constitution says a criminal can't run, be president. Agreed. Yeah, I'm not agreed. Again, I don't mean to be, my libertarian streak always comes out. It always does. We have a lot of criminals, a lot of outlaws who we think are great until all of a sudden we're the empire. Then all of a sudden they're bad now. I don't know. Some of the outlaws have been some of our greatest heroes, have done some of the greatest things. Some of the people who rebelled against the establishment. Rebels have been powerful. We were the rebels. Sadly, now we're the empire. Chill.
God bless America.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon, Rochester. WLEA, WCKR FM, Pornell.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. Some snow likely, a little breezy out there, about an inch or two should do it. On Wednesday, sun, clouds, windy and cold with some local lake effect snow showers, another inch or two for some. Just plan on some wintry conditions out there. A few flurries, snow showers Thursday, cold day, temps near 20, a little bit of snow or rain into the 30s Friday. I'm Rich Cadilia for the Voice of Liberty.
Canisteo Valley Update.
Hornell School Superintendent Jeremy Pilati says Hornell schools are off today because of the weather. In Arkport, no students are in attendance today because it's a conference day at Arkport Central. At Canisteo Greenwood, they started 2 hours late today because of the weather. Canisteo, they were also on a 2-hour delay this morning. Wellsville and Andover schools, they were originally on a 2-hour delay, but ended up closing at Wellsville and Andover because of the weather. They also canceled classes today at Alfred State. On the topic of schools, a Republican Assemblyman Phil Palmisano is this hour at a press conference in Albany about a Republican state assembly bill to allow schools to opt out of the electric school bus mandate. Republicans argue electric school buses are not ready for prime time. I'm Brian O'Neill for the Voice of Liberty.
Bob Savage here for Aaron Moore. As you feel those dropping temps, I invite you to do what we do here at WYSL. Slash your heating costs this season with Aaron Moore infrared zone heaters. They can save you big compared to just using your furnace. It's how we stay comfy here at Radio Ranch. Aaron Moore heats healthier. No burning of oxygen and particulates to dry out your nose and skin. You get even quiet heat that fills.
Okay, we have two calls. First one will be Derek, and the other one will be Mike.
Surfaces or heating elements to pose shock or fire hazards, plus complete safety for children and pets. For a limited time, save $30 on
Very good.
size Aaron Moore, and either the Comfort Deluxe size or the Compact Comfort Buddy for smaller areas. Specify discount code WYSL in your shopping cart. Free shipping in the continental U.S., and you'll never have to replace any bulbs because of Aaron Moore copper PTC technology. Maintenance-free Aaron Moore infrared zone heaters are the way to really save on heating bills. Call 800-707-8725 or visit air-more.com.
Your go-to standard of specialized business insurance coverage. MGM Associates of Rochester, now serving the region and beyond in New York. Since 1984, MGM has provided leading coverage from a wide range of carriers. Not only home, condo, boat, motorcycle, and auto, but also specialized policies for all types of businesses, including nonprofits and law firms, livery insurance, property insurance, and bonds for all needs. MGM Associates of Rochester provides auto, workers' comp, healthcare, and liability insurance. Choose from virtual appointments or good old in-office, in-person consults by appointment at our Penfield office. 5-time consecutive winner of the National Best Practices Award, MGM is proud to support veterans groups. For your personal, business, home, or professional insurance needs, meet the experienced staff at MGM Associates, locally and proudly owned at 1745 Penfield Road in Penfield, 381-7008 or mgminsured.com. An associate of Chautauqua Patrons Insurance, 523 West 3rd Street, Jamestown, New York.
Hi, I'm Steve Tasker. Over the years, my wife Sarah and I have supported Heritage Christian Services and the work that they do to advance an inclusive and equitable community. Heritage Christian Services and their staff support people with intellectual and developmental disabilities by offering meaningful and diverse experiences. Like us, they believe that people are entitled to dignity, respect, equity, and justice, and that belief is reflected in all that they do. While disability services are what they were founded on, their work extends to offer life-enriching opportunities for people throughout the community through therapeutic writing, health and wellness services, and childcare, and more. Now more than ever, Heritage Christian Services needs your support to continue their work. Consider becoming a friend to Heritage Christian like Sarah and I did almost 20 years ago. You can choose to volunteer, share their job opportunities, or make a donation. To learn more, visit heritagechristianservices.org. That's heritagechristianservices.org.
The Greater Rochester Boat Show is back. The area's top dealers are excited to show you hundreds of jet boats, cruisers, yachts, PWCs, fishing boats, and pontoons this Thursday through Sunday at the Riverside Convention Center. Go to rochesterboatshow.com.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, a locally owned and operated gun shop specializing in pre-owned firearms and repairs. Get your rifle, shotgun, or pistol serviced and tuned before you take it to the field. Open from 10 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Avon Gun, East Main Street, next to Tompkins Community Bank.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
Oh, yes, it is Larry Sharpe here on Sharpe Way Radio, the voice of liberty, 585-346-3000. I am going to bring up one piece, which I think might be true. IC says it was get the bad guys first. To be forward, I don't know. I only got what Adam said. So if that was true, and that does make sense to me, if that's true, then it's a fair deal. I'm okay with it if that was the deal they made. So I just don't know, IC. Just being clear. Let me grab a call if I could. This is Derek. Derek, how are you?
How you doing, Larry? Happy New Year to you. I'm Derek Miles. I don't mind saying my last name, and I'm a proud registered Democrat, but a libertarian in thought.
Oh, I like that.
And I believe that what you're saying in what you're doing now is essentially teaching civics.
Yes.
I think that people can get more exposed to civics as not being taught in the school, not being taught in the houses of worship, not being taught in the civic groups, has now let a large group of people kind of be at the option or at the mercy of the media. They can't critically think. I think that I'd like to give YSL a salutation 1,000 times over, allowing someone like yourself who has a lot to offer, not only just in business, but just in goodwill, to explain things in such a way, the sharp way, in which people can understand it and not digest it and apply it. And I wish you much success.
What a great call. Thank you, my
and
friend. I'm very happy that you called in.
Well, I mean, I listen, but I don't generally call in. But I want to say this and one thing only. We need to take this show on the road. We need to go here and look at the different venues and the different conversations that can happen with the local elected gangsters that are going to defend themselves. Look at, not just the sanctuary city matter.
I am starting to make this happen. I'm thinking about doing it in March, maybe late February, early March. So I will be doing that. I will reach out to you then.
I know timing is an issue, but because of what's happening and which is so critical about 211, and we're in the city with an absentee, let's just say a mayor that has not been accessible to the media and now has unfortunate medical conditions.
Look at phone, please.
Present something to him now before he goes down to DC to let him know what's required of him, so he doesn't skip out like he's done previously, with events and stuff as it relates to New York City.
All right, let me consider it if I could, Derek. Thank you so much for the call, my friend. I appreciate it. Let me grab another call if I could.
Mike.
And that is Mike. How are you, Mike?
Hey, Larry, pretty good. Hey, we can solve a lot of this issue with Congress in acting a law that if you hire an illegal, you go to jail for 10 years. Doesn't matter if you run a lawn mowing service with one guy to a corporation like Tyson that might have thousands of them. You hire an illegal, knowing you hire an illegal, you commit the crime. It's a federal crime to hire an illegal. Bam, you go to jail. No job.
Your answer is jail.
Jail. Oh, jail. You know what? Fines for a corporation like Tyson is you know what? They'll just put it into the money of what they charge for the product.
No, I get what you're saying. I do. I get what you're saying, but okay. Whenever we do this, whenever we say do something wrong, 10 years jail, whatever that is, what happens every time, particularly if it's business, is just the small business owners get wrecked. You can guarantee what Tyson will do is Tyson will say something like, well, we didn't know it was our HR. So a bunch of HR people go to jail and they hire new HR people and they don't change a thing. right? Or their lawyers will come up and go, well, how do we know it was illegal? It wasn't. We didn't know they were illegal. They provided us with bogus numbers or whatever. And they'll have an entire plan. The small business owner won't have that. That small business owner gets hammered, and the big businesses don't. What you're actually saying is, with this law, is a whole bunch of small business owners are going to either go under or go to jail. I would rather find an answer for this.
Who are hiring all these illegals? Okay, we keep hearing that. We keep hearing AOC and all these other people jumping up saying, "Oh, we need these people to wash the dishes and scrub the toilet." Okay, yep. Well, I'm sorry. If we have so many people on welfare that are able-bodied, okay, this is the second part of my plan. When we have jobs available, if you're able-bodied on welfare, you either go and take that job or we cut you off the welfare.
Well, if I have to go one way or the other, I mean, I don't want to go either way. I would rather us have a better environment with better jobs.
As a taxpayer of New York, I just got my tax bills, okay, and I just got jacked about $1,300 for this year alone.
Ouch.
in two different tax bills, okay. So you know what? I have no mercy. As far as the illegals, you know what? Round them all up. You know what? We'll start with the criminals first and then work our way down. And Mississippi has a great plan. They're looking to have bounty hunters, pay them $1,000 a person. You know what? As a state, that's great because $1,000 to get rid of them is cheaper in the long run. I'm sick and tired of being a taxpayer in the state. You know how many billions of dollars?
I'm agreeing with you on the concept of we have to fix the problem, but in both cases, you're not fixing the problem either, if that makes any sense. You're punishing people and not fixing the problem, which I get your frustration. Dude, I pay taxes too, 100%. But $1,000 bounty hunting in Mississippi, man.
Well, we can make this countrywide. No, we can make this straight out countrywide.
Listen, I wasn't saying it was good. I was saying it was bad. I don't want more of that, right? I don't want to get more of that, right? I would like to fix the problem, which means either one, the biggest one, which is have a system to where they can't get across the border, right? That when they come across the border, they are somehow vetted, or we know who they are, or they go to states who want them, or whatever, right? There's a bunch of ways we could fix the problem and not hire bounty hunters and not start putting small business owners in jail. I get your frustration, brother. Mike, I'm with you. I've been talking about this problem for years now, that it's a problem. I had the idea of the Ellis Island concept back in 2018. 7 years ago, I talked about this eventually happening because I knew this was going to happen. So I get your frustration, man, but bounty hunters scares the hell out of me because now I can get $1,000 to get some illegal. Oh my God. Everybody illegal in my eyes now. I got bills to pay. You're all illegal. And then someone's going to fight back. Oh no. I was already worried about the government doing it. Now I got government and bounty hunters. And what happens when they want to fight each other? Because the government wants to get them, but I want my $1,000. So I'm going to start pushing the government out.
We have another call.
Mike, I'm scared of that one, brother.
Well, it's an ideal.
No, we should fix it. And I'm actually glad you said it because you saying this lets people listening know we are
David.
It's got to be fixed. Mike, thanks for the call, my friend. Let me grab another call if I could. This is David. How are you?
I'm good. Like your last caller there, my taxes, they came around, reassessed my house for almost twice the amount. my taxes went up. I'm retired. But
oh my God.
I kind of like the idea what the guy was saying, workfare, not welfare. That's a good thing. Now, with the hiring, I think what they should do, just like when you get a traffic ticket or anything like that, your fine should be based upon your gross income.
Ooh.
That way it's fair for the small guy and you get the big guy. Everybody pays a certain percentage. That way, you talk about fair justice, that's fair justice.
So you're saying that a bigger business would pay a bigger fine, and therefore, because they pay a bigger fine, they can't just kind of like put it under the rug because it will be a big fine for them. That's not a bad idea. Oh, okay. That's better.
You take the little guy. Okay, so he makes $100,000 a year. You base it on that, and then you pay and figure out what you're going to do with that, the fine money. I mean, I don't want it to go into the coffers to pay for something that I don't want.
Oh, yeah, they're going to take it. Now it's a slush fund. Yeah, now it's a slush fund, right?
It's kind of like what they sold us when they went for the lottery. The thing that they didn't tell you about the lottery was that part of the money that was funding the schools was taken out of the general fund. So as the money came in from the lottery, they took back money out of the general fund. So now everybody's going around saying, well, where's all this money from the lottery?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't okay. That's a better one. That's a better one. At least I'm not just hammering the little guy, and that's always my worry. That's a better plan. I'm okay. That's
and let's face it, you arrest these guys, what are they going to do? They're going to hire the best lawyers. Next thing you know, we're fighting them. And we're fighting them. And who's paying for all the lawyers on our side? The taxpayer. So we get screwed twice.
Absolutely. David, thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it. So, guys, am I right about my bounty hunter thing, or am I wrong? Maybe we should be doing bounty hunters. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. It's possible. It seemed rough. I like the idea, though, of the you pay more if you're wealthier. That's maybe better, percentage-wise. Anyway, let me know. Larry Sharpe here, Sharpe Way Radio, on the Voice of Liberty, 585-346-3000. Back with your calls and your chat after the break.
Introducing a sobering and unavoidable truth. The latest advancements in artificial intelligence have made cyber attacks easier than ever before. Cyber criminals are relentlessly targeting your business right now, seeking the tiniest opening in your defenses to drain your accounts and steal sensitive data. Your finances and your customers' trust are on the line. Call the experts at Simple Tech Innovations now at 585-999-TECH to secure your business today. Don't wait until it's too late. Make the call today. 585-999.
If feet are numb.
Baskin Livestock's success in recycling food waste into animal feed comes from a focus on growth and a belief that there's value in what others are tempted to discard. Their bank feels the same. While other financial institutions cycle through business relationships, Tompkins Bank knows the best things are worth preserving and lead to long-term growth. Tompkins, your bank of choice. Find out more at tompkinsbank.com.
Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten Free Bakery has a great deal on Tuesdays. A large 4-topping pizza for $18, regular or gluten-free. Call 226-9575. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Livingston County Pizza Company and Gluten Free Bakery in Avon.
Avon Gun and Hunting Supply, a locally owned and operated gun shop specializing in pre-owned firearms and repairs. Get your rifle, shotgun, or pistol serviced and tuned before you take it to the field. Open from 10 a.m. Tuesday through Saturday. Avon Gun, East Main Street, next to Tompkins Community Bank.
Sharpe Way Radio on the WYSL stations.
It is Larry Sharpe, Sharpe Way Radio, Voice of Liberty here in Western New York. So happy you're giving me a phone call.
Keith.
Of your afternoon. I want to grab a quick comment here. Valerie says, "Hi, Larry. The problem won't go away until we get Queen Hokum and a Democrat supermajority to repeal bail reform." That's a key. Bail reform is a key too, right? And that's the point. There are a lot of issues that we're dealing with. Bail reform is absolutely one of them also. Again, the concept of bail reform is not a bad concept. Just our version is just terrible. Let me grab another call if I could. This is Keith. Keith, how are you, sir?
I'm fine. Hopefully you are too. When it comes to tithing, there's the old maxim that says if 10% is good enough for Jesus, 10% ought to be good enough for the government. So I like that idea, I guess.
Yes.
I'm conservative, that if the percentage was good for gross income, then hopefully the small guy, to say it, would not feel gouged. Obviously,
right.
10% still hurts the smaller guy than 10% for the large, but at least it would be across the board, and hopefully on the math of it, people would understand. I want to ask quickly, I don't understand libertarians. I've been trying to listen to you here since you came on here today. With the more conservative people, to say it, leaving the state, doesn't that hurt libertarians overall in getting your message across? I understand when they're very good here at in locally, we call it Mike, the caller who called in, Mike. I understand, and I don't think until he called in, you, Mr. Sharpe, understood. By the law, by people here, there's great resentment of these immigrant illegals coming in, and I wish the libertarians would understand that. In closing, what with the more conservatives going south and so on, doesn't that right there hurt libertarians in getting your message out? It's not the illegals that you need to reach, but it's good guys like Mike and Dave and even Derek, the Dem. These are the people, sir, who would give you backing. And to my ear, and I think to Mike as well, it still sounds you're going to bat more for them, the immigrants who really shouldn't be here, than for the law-abiding people like Mike, who pays his taxes, and all of the rest of us who pay taxes. That's the question I'd like you to answer.
100%. You know, Keith, I'll answer it. You are correct in that the more conservatives who leave New York State, the more people who wouldn't vote blue in general, to include conservatives, obviously, that leave the state, hurt me. That's true. Most people who vote blue in New York State are hardcore blue. Most of them are, and they're going to vote blue. Most are. Not all, obviously, but a big chunk are. And even if I tell them my viewpoints where I may agree with them, or I may give them answers that make sense, many of them are going to vote blue anyway. I think you're correct. Doesn't change my viewpoint, though. It doesn't mean that I'm not libertarian. It doesn't mean I don't agree with certain things. Number one. Second piece, I am absolutely backing the New York State taxpayer. I am one of them. If you've noticed, every single plan I've ever come up with, I have rules. Rule number one, it may not add any additional tax, fine, or fee. None. May not add anything. Number two, it may not add any enforcement, which would, of course, increase in taxes, fines, or fees. It's just going to be a plan that will make people decide to do things better. And I have tons of them. I want to change the culture so that people do better. I want local people to do better. I want less centralization. I want more decentralization. This is what I'm looking at. So what do I mean by that? If New York City wants to have a bunch of migrants, as long as New York City pays for it and handles it, why do I care? In theory, why should you care, Keith, if you're not paying for it? The bad part that I'm upset about, which is my point, is you are paying for it. So am I, and so is Mike. All I'm saying is, if your local community says, give us the migrants, we're good, we'll take them, then take them. I don't have a problem with that. Have a plan. But don't call up Keith and say, Keith, I need you to write me a check because I got paid by migrants. And you didn't want them. That's my problem. My goal is to say, let people do what they think is correct, just don't force others. And the problem is they are. The second piece is, I don't want a plan that will resort immediately to violence when I can find some other plan. Not just that. When it comes to migrants, the biggest issue is
Roger.
That's the biggest issue. Not whether or not people get hired here or not. So that is I hope I answered your question. Did I answer it, Keith?
Roger.
Oh, I lost Keith already. Sorry. I'm going to go on to Roger if I could. Roger, how are you, sir?
All right. I'm going to try to run through these things real quick. 5 points real quick. One, remember, when your mayor served in the state Senate, he was a Republican. He's only a Democrat because you can't get elected unless you're a Democrat. Now, that's probably going to change in the near future because of that 2023 article I read from Common Cause saying that no party registration is on the rise. But who knows? Second thing, now, in order for a government to not have to depend on the government above it, they are going to have to come up with their own revenue so that they don't have to keep going back. Instead of you as daddy giving your son money and you're better off trying to hook your son up with a good job and good pay. In other words, a public bank at every level of government, that at the city level, county level, town level, incorporated village level, state, regional level, because we got 10 different state regions, and state level, even U.S. regional level, I would say, like cluster of states having a shared common public bank.
I'm not fighting you on this one. Localized banking, co-op banking, I'm okay. I'm not fighting you.
Yep, all of that. And what it would do is it would create the surplus needed without having to create new taxes and raise existing taxes. And then you could start leaning off of other taxes, like eliminating the property tax once you finish paying for your home.
Yes, 100%.
So I don't know about Michelle Wu, because I know Sabrina showed me a letter from Congress that's akin to calling her to the principal's office about her sanctuary city. So we'll see what happens with that. What that guy said in terms of pay your fines to scale, well, that's what the Eighth Amendment is supposed to be all about, prohibition against excessive bail and fines.
Correct.
So we just haven't been enforcing it. Last thing, we need to be a citizen ballot initiative state so we can place our own amendments and laws on the ballot, so we can ratify our own amendments, approve our own laws, repeal laws. I have a ballot initiative idea, a very radical one, that should the state legislature refuse to enforce let's say if we were a citizen ballot initiative state, should the legislature refuse to enforce initiatives that we approved and ratified, that we have the right to run a ballot initiative amendment that abolishes the state legislature.
Ooh, I like that. I ran up against the time there. Sorry about that, Roger. Guys, I want to say this was a great show. Thank you so much for the time you gave me. I will see you all very soon.
Okay, Larry, have a good day.